Miss Show. Lunchtime, thanks to Rudy's Barbecue, home of the green chili stew. We begin, if you weren't with me in the first hour, you don't know. Now you're about to know. Barbecue Pitmaster Bryce Jones, not with us on a Friday, had things pop up. It'll be okay. We will carry on. Someone once told me, I forget who, I didn't take notes, I didn't write it down, really didn't even care that much at the time, but they said the show must go on, and it will. Here is what will happen in our final hour of the week, our second hour on a Friday, the lunch hour, thanks to Rudy's Barbecue. 12:35, a listen in the title Contender Series, Miami. Your text messages are rolling in. We're celebrating opening day, Aggie Baseball opening weekend, and I shared my memories of Aggie Baseball and what it means to me. Me as a sports being, football is the fire, baseball is the soul. I have so many memories of Aggie Baseball from, my freshman year. I sacrificed Chemistry 101 for Aggie Baseball. Bye-bye Byington. 2 decades or so for me to, and have I truly recovered, question mark, from 89 LSU. The Clemson Regional. Yeah, the Kent, Oregon. And that's the thing about Olsen Magic and Olsen Field. Someone texted and said the greatest moment ever. I think there's about 10. That's how incredible Aggie Baseball is. That's incredible Olsen Field is. I think there's 10 to 15 greatest ever, and they're all the greatest ever. And, I think they're all the greatest ever. I love Aggie Baseball, and you can if you want to. Your greatest ever. That's the power of Olsen Field, man. It's opening day. Let's go. Beat the hot of everyone. And today's your final day to register for a chance to win those tickets to the Troubadour Festival, a barbecue and music experience. March 28th, Midtown Park, Bryan. I'm telling you right now, I've been every year. If you have not been, dude, or dudette, what are you doing? I have a pair of tickets, final day to get registered. I'm going to hit the Texas Mobile and Lube Express inbox to start this hour, too. People are just rolling in right now, and sharing is caring. I read that somewhere. Bazooka bubble gum? The Bible? I don't know where I read that, but it works. 979-693-1150. Texas Mobile and Lube Express, owned by Gabriel Garcia. John the Mailman. Enjoyed the lead-in song, Big John. Good to know baseball is starting and spring is coming. I never cut a class to watch a baseball game. I did many times, and I've got had, past tense, the GPA to prove it. Oh, I said it before. I was a horrible student. I was not a scholar, academic, and it's not because I hated. Maybe I did hate school. There was too much going on. There was Aggie Baseball. There were women. There was beer. There were poker games. There was listening to Led Zeppelin till 4 a.m. I mean, once I got going into the other side of life, everything but school seemed more entertaining. I was a moron. Yeah. And again, in the spring, poor chemistry. I only went to Thursdays. I never went to Tuesdays. What could I do? More text messages are rolling in. Juan, anybody else want a hot dog? Dude, do not get me going about that whole element, that whole aspect. I believe that ballpark food is like a delicacy. Some people will talk about, they went to Ruth's Chris and, this private Michelin star steakhouse. You want to talk about grilled hot dogs with grilled onions and then stadium mustard from Cleveland and the finest nachos you ever had? I'm a sports junkie. Stadium ballpark food is my Michelin stars. And by the way, a lot of people are new to town. Hi, hello. I know farm to table. I know Michelin star. I've traveled this country and found these meals. I love food, period. But man, does the crowd make the food taste better? Is sitting there with your friends with an icy cold beer, add 2-star ratings to hot dogs and nachos. Oh, many of ballpark foods just slop. But there's something just like a helmet full of nachos that just sits there and brings a tear to your left eye. Don't get me wrong. I love traveling. And anytime I've traveled vacation, I have tried to include a stadium, minor league hockey stadiums, minor league baseball. Yeah, the big boys too. But I gotta visit something and try the food. Man, the Pittsburgh trips over the years, every one of those ballparks, wouldn't matter if it's Three Rivers or PNC, they got food. I went to Colorado, the bratwurst, almost cried. The food, man. Oh, sorry, I'm digressing. A, I'm hungry, and B, it's opening day. I must apologize. Scott Henniger texted. Scott Henniger, he's my banker. He's my friend. Great dude, great sports friend. Great sports friend, great sports guy. And it made me laugh. This made me laugh because he said, you know I'm a diamond sports guy. Oh, yes, I do. That's a no-doubter. Scott Henniger, that's almost like an understatement, yet he made the statement, right? You know I'm a diamond sports guy. Yes, Scott Henniger umpired softball, and I think it was like for 92 years. And then he goes to like every Aggie baseball game. I mean, he's got reservation times. He's got nothing gets in the way. So he said diamond sport. Notice he didn't pick one. And that's the truth of him. He knows what he's talking about. Again, officiated and been inside the, oh man. Yes, you are, man. Hey, happy opening day, Scott. Merry, nothing but the best opening day to you, brother. And by the way, here's Scott Henniger. He finished signing his text message. His first Aggie baseball game was in 1977. Was that in black and white? That Aggie baseball wasn't even in color yet then. 1977? That's insane. Yeah, I don't think it was in color yet. According to Mike from Deer Park, Kyle Field hot dogs suck, overpriced and overwhelming. Mike, this is where I have to put out my disclaimer. I have no clue. I have known for most of my life that concessions have never been a priority to Texas A&M athletics. They've just went with flat, boring, I'll just say standard. So never in my existence here, Aggieland, have I bothered. I feel like if you're a non-revenue sport, they just give you, like when you're at Aggie softball, you know that was the food that was left over from baseball the day before. They just pass it across the street and try and sell it to you. None of the food is worth being consumed, and it's all overpriced. So, I've never really bothered. Okay? Yeah, that's it. I don't want to overly beat that horse to death. I mean, is anybody going to try and sell me on any A&M concessions? Okay, Caleb. Caleb, you're still a student. You go to a million A&M sporting events. Have you ever tried a concession that you'd want to eat again without being hungry or forced to at night point?
The pretzels at the baseball games are really good.
Okay, so you have one. How much is it?
Too much. Don't. You can't think about the price at a sports game.
That's right. You're on your parents' money still.
If you are thinking about the price, then you don't need to buy it.
Caleb,
that's
you're
my
married,
logic.
But wait till you have your 10th kid, and you're paying for 5 cars, insurance for 6 kids. You will know the pretzel price. You won't hesitate.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm just telling you right now.
Absolutely agree with that.
I at least give Caleb this. He's married, right?
Yes.
I'm not giving away a secret, am I? You're not mad?
No, that's not a secret.
Yeah, he got married last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's starting to realize the price of things. You will know.
Yeah, last baseball season I wasn't married, so I wasn't paying attention to the price of things.
But now,
so today,
that first
at
house,
game 1, I'll be looking. I'll tell you the price tomorrow.
That first house, that 7th kid, that 3rd car. Oh yeah, Caleb will know. Caleb will know. Terry fighting crime. Lou, my man. Stop beating yourself. Stop beating yourself up. You landed on your feet. I too could have applied myself better in college, but the temptations were too great. Look. Every decision we made equals who we are now. To say, I wouldn't do this again, then you don't know who you'd be now. So you have to stop at this very moment and go yes or no. Yes, I accept the person I am now, or no, I don't accept the person I am now. But you can't pick and choose. It doesn't work that way. It's like a science formula. If you go, I would go back and not, then you don't know what today would be. That's how I've always looked at it. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. Don't care. It's the life I've chosen. So Terry fighting crime. My point is, oh yeah, you say stop beating yourself up. It's not beating myself up. I just acknowledge the mistakes I made. And man, did I make mistakes. And we all made mistakes. I've pretty much led my life with, hey, it's okay to it is okay to make every mistake once. Here's the key. Just make it once. Don't make it twice. We're all going to make mistakes, but make it once. Don't make the same mistake twice. It's the people that make the same mistake twice, 3 times, 4 times. The people that have no ability to learn from mistakes. That's a problem. Making mistakes is not, because it's what we do. If you don't make mistakes, I don't know if you're leading a good and healthy life. I don't know if you're pushing yourself or stretching yourself if you don't make mistakes. So I'm not beating myself up. That's just how it went. But yeah, thank you, Terry. I appreciate the thoughts. 979-693-1150. One last text messages, and this is the scope. This is Friday on the Louie Belina Show. There's a lot of text messages rolling in about a lot of different things, and that's why I want to say you text. You can text about everything and anything, whether it's Aggie football, basketball, baseball. I say wine, whiskey, beer, steak, nachos, ballpark food. It all goes. Eric texted this. Hi, Louie. What's up, Eric? I agree with you about St. Arnold's. My favorite is the Christmas ale. I usually keep a 6-pack through May. Dude, I got a friend that does that too. Not Christmas ale, but their favorite St. Arnold's. They make sure to stock up. He says, I'm not so sure about the IPAs. Not a fan. Cheers, Eric. I'm not an IPA guy. Sometimes I'm looked down upon in the whole, craft community because I'm not an IPA guy at all. Not at all. I love the Santo. I know it's not regular for them anymore. Love Santo always. And I just wandered through the St. Arnold menu, and I do think the Irish Hello is simply brilliant. Simply brilliant from St. Arnold. 979-693-1150. I think that's a good text message sweep, and people are still trying to get registered for those Troubadour tickets, and you can text till one. Final day, final chance. Final day, final chance. Aggie Baseball, opening day. Nothing but experience, y'all, and it's the best out there. We'll take an early timeout. Come back, college football notebook and more. It's the Louie Belina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio on a Friday. Low cost, full service, best of all local. How is Charles Schwab local? Mark Sim, and he's right here in College Station. Find Mark online at schwab.com/College Station. Charles Schwab and Company Incorporated, member SIPC. This is the Louie Belina Show, Friday on the Zone.
You can hear Aggie Baseball online at RadioAggieland.com. RadioAggieland.com.
The Louie Belina Show inside the Charles Schwab studio. Louie Belina Show presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. It's CC Electric. Oh, I've been meaning to mention this basically all morning long. I guess it's not morning, all lunch long. Yeah, 11 a.m. That counts as lunchtime. I will be hosting Chip Howard Sports Talk from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. this afternoon. Why? You don't want to know. I'll be hosting Chip Howard Sports Talk from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. this afternoon. So, if you're bored, if you're free, tell your friends. You can come hang out. I'll be 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Chip Howard Sports Talk, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. So, when we wrap up at 1 o'clock, you can rest up. You can take a break. You can be like, oh, I got to get away from this guy. But I'll be back at 4 p.m. Chip Howard Sports Talk. You want to hang out with me a little bit more today. Bonus on a Friday. I hear crickets. So I just wanted to throw that out there. If you want to meet me back here at 4 p.m. when we wrap things up a little bit later on today. Let us venture into the college football notebook because there's some things Trinidad Chambliss, quarterback, Ole Miss, had a breakthrough, was amazing in the college football playoffs. He was one of my favorite things about the college football playoffs was watching him play. He has been granted a preliminary injunction against the NCAA. He is now eligible for Ole Miss for the 2026 season. I have so many mixed emotions about this. With the way the NCAA is ruling, and there's players that are getting, I have a story about a guy who just got a 9th season, and he's playing at North Dakota. TJ Finley just got his 7th. And when you take a look at the rulings by the NCAA and the randomness and the inconsistency, Trinidad Chambliss should have got a 6th season, period. But yet, and this is the mixed emotion, there's no way this should have happened. There's no way he should have got this preliminary injunction. This is Bediako all over again, except now Ole Miss went to a local Mississippi judge and got a, hometown judge to give them a favorable ruling. I don't know if this judge is an Ole Miss donor, to be fair, but it is a local state of judge. I criticize the NCAA. I'm one of 1 million that criticize the NCAA for being idiots, inept, out of date, ineffective, and needing to be replaced. This is part of the difficulty that they have, is that when they do make a ruling, everything gets challenged in court, because we do live in a litigious world where you just go to court because you have a chance. It doesn't matter on merit anymore. You just go to court because judges don't care about precedent. Judges don't care about your merit either. They just do what they want. And right now, the NCAA kind of can't win in court. It's stunning that Bediako even could think about it. We knew what was right. It doesn't mean the judge had to do what is right. So Ole Miss, just state court, found a Mississippi judge to rule a Mississippi player, got a 6th year, right? And the right thing happened in the wrong way, highlighting everything wrong. Because when I look at this story, the dispute is over his 2022 medical redshirt year. Why didn't he ask for it in 23? Why is it waiting till 25 and 26 to get there? Should there not be a statute of limitations on this? I don't think he should be eligible for the year, maybe based upon waiting too long. I'm tired of local home court judges. Yes, he should have got it from the NCAA. There's like so many wrongs in this story is what bothers me. The NCAA was wrong. Allowing local favorable home court, home field judges to interfere with college athletics, whether it's Bediako or now Ole Miss, is wrong too. Once 12 months pass, you shouldn't be able to go back in time and start digging up mystery years so you can play more. I don't agree with that either. So I just feel like in the Trinidad Chambliss story, everyone and every single thing is wrong. It might exemplify the current state of why things are so screwed up in college athletics, because it's all wrong. Not any one thing, but all of it. He will be playing for them, and everyone knew he was going to play. The second they went to the local, you knew he was going to play. Yeah, it's just all wrong. And everybody keeps offering ideas of how to fix it. There ain't no way right now. There is no path to fix it, because it's the legal systems that have screwed it up. It's the legal systems that are going to have to fix it. And I don't know how that dance works, to be exact with you. Because that's what broke it. That's what'll have to fix it. There ain't no NCAA. There ain't no commissioners. There's no conference presidents, chancellors. It's going to have to be the justice system, because they're the ones that are broken. Moving on. not sure if you saw this report. It's fascinating. I actually think it's the roadmap. What are you talking about? 2014 college football playoff. The Big Ten circulated this internal document. The Big Ten leaked the internal document to ESPN so that it could be run up the flagpole, kind of a trial balloon for everybody to look at it. And it's a 24-team college football playoff. What would it look like? Well, it covers a lot. It covers a ton of the fan popular vote. They've included a lot of things that will get you and I on their side. We're going to have 2 weekends of on-campus home games. The committee would not be allowed to do any rematches in the first round. Basic details like that already makes, I believe, the fan go, hell yeah. 2 rounds of home playoff games. No rematches in the first round. We had 3 in the first round of this one, or 2, which out of 4 games is half anyway, right? So that's fan vote. From there, a 24 team is not rocket science, but those little details like that. And the way this would work is 27 and 28 would be a 16-team transition. The next 2 seasons after, because we're 12 and 26. That can't change. So 16 team would be 27-28. Starting in the year 29, there's 24. In a 24-team playoff, no conference is allowed to have conference championships. Just so you'll know, this is what the document has. No conference is allowed to have 24. Then, no conference is allowed to have a conference championship. So 29, 30, and 31 are 24-team playoffs. Why 31? Well, that's when every TV deal is up, so everything gets renegotiated anyway. So they're just covering the known TV deals that are out there. 27, 28, 16, 29, 30, 31, the new 24 format. Other elements that this document covers, okay? In a 24-team playoff, there's no automatic qualifiers. And that is the one point I think there, because that's the only detail in there that fits the SEC narrative. And the Big Ten, the more that's in there, they're not worried about getting their team shut out. They know that the less teams in there, the more the SEC gets. And for the Big Ten, once you reach number X, they're going to get all their bids. And that's why they wanted it to be 24. Because even in a 16-team playoff, almost half will be SEC. And the Big Ten cannot abide by that. That's the meta picture. 16 is not enough for the Big Ten because 7 men would be SEC. And for the Big Ten, they want their balance in team representation. If we go to 24 teams, believe it or don't, the difference in the Big Ten and the SEC would be minimal. The field would be watered down because the 4th place team in the ACC is still probably not getting in over the 7th place team in the Big Ten. There's not 24 teams that should be in a college football playoff, but that's not the point anymore. 16, and you'd see 7 from the SEC and maybe 5 from the Big Ten, and the Big Ten does not want that. That's what this is kind of about. By the way, doing some math and using the whole formula, and even in this internal document, if we had the 24-team playoff for 2025, 7 from the SEC, 6 from the Big Ten, 5 from the Big 12, and only 3 from the ACC. The ACC would still only have 3 in a 24-team playoff. Think about that. That's how bad the ACC is right now. And see, the Big Ten can live with the 1-team difference. That's a whatever. So anyway, some insight. Big Ten, 24-team, internal document. They leak it to ESPN so that it can be right up the flagpole. From the fan standpoint and the things that we're going to go huzzah, 2 rounds of home games, no rematches in the first round, and the no AQ is what the SEC could finally go, okay, we'll buy into this story. We're good with this. This is what we've always wanted. college football notebook. Ross Dellinger has a column for On 3, and you can read the whole thing if you want, but here's my walkaway thing. So the revenue cap, sharing cap, is 20.5 this year, 21.3 mil. And the story is kind of, okay, then how can Texas Tech next year, this college football season, have a $40 million roster? How does that math up? 20.5 revenue sharing cap this year, 21.3 next year, and yet Texas Tech is going to have a $40 million roster. And it's not actually the most expensive. It's just like a top 3. How did we end up with these numbers when we're supposed to have, and people forget, we don't have salary caps. They're soft caps. The revenue distribution does not equal NIL caps. And if we ended up with salary caps, we'd just go back to the good old days and we'd have gym bags worth of poker chips again and gym bags worth of money, and parents would get jobs off books. So it wouldn't matter. The more it changes, the more it'd be the same. College football notebook. This just brought a smile to my face. This is old school football in the state of Texas. SMU Mustangs, ponies, moved their home games against Oklahoma in 27 and LSU in 29 to AT&T Stadium. And that's about making money selling suites and parking. SMU moved their home games against OU in 27 and LSU in 29 to AT&T Stadium. And I don't know if that, how many more tickets they'll be able to sell for SMU fans, but OU fans and LSU fans are going to eat that up. And there's suites involved and more. Ticket prices will be insane. So, yeah, I caught that. That made me chuckle. Before we grab our timeout, I mentioned the 9th year guy. I wanted to share. I looked this up again real quick. I said North Dakota. No. So TJ Finley, we have known as the poster child of the portal. TJ Finley is on his 7th school in 7 years. Last year, Georgia State, he's now at the Word. He's at the Incarnate Word. 7th school, 7 years. But I found maybe the new poster child. Maybe there's a linebacker called Solomon Tuliapupu. I'm sure I nailed his name. And he's 25 years old. He's a father of 2. He's had back-to-back complex foot fractures and multiple ACL tears. So the years he's had has had some legitimate hardship. He hasn't just been transferring because he bores easily. There's stories in there. This week, he was granted his ninth year of eligibility by the NCAA, and he's going to play at Montana. Solomon Tuliapupu. 9th year of eligibility in Montana. And I'm going to say again, 25 years old, father of 2, back-to-back complex foot fractures and multiple ACL tears. That is his story. Let's grab that timeout, come back, listen in. It is the title Contender Series with Greg McElroy, and it'll be Miami. This is the Louie Belina Show with a reminder. You can call, but you can text, or you can call 979-693-1150. That is the D4 Land Services hotline. All next week, the ticket booth will be open thanks to the Dixie Tire Company. You will call me on the D4 Land Services hotline. And many guests, like a Mitch Light, Cedric Golden, Rusty Burson, call me on the D4 Land Services hotline. If you ever need your land fixed up, land cleared, land excavated, you need forestry, mulching, pond construction, a metal building, custom metal building from the ground up, go check out D4landservices.com. D4landservices.com. I'll be back. It's the Louie Belina Show on the Zone. Friday.
All right, listen up, class.
The money machine is open now.
No.
Make sure to enter each week
Everyone comes out a winner.
at zone1150.com or through the Zone newsletter to win $5,000.
The Louie Belina Show, kind of down the stretch we come, 23 minutes left. A reminder, I'll be hosting Chip Howard Sports Talk 4 to 6 p.m. This afternoon, right back here on 1150 a.m. and 93.7 FM. Time now. I got to listen in. The title Contender Series. Greg McElroy is always college football podcast, and he doesn't do the way too early top 25s. He's picked the teams he believes can win the national championship, and he X's and O's and he breaks them all down. And we've been listening in last week, this week. It all wraps up next week, by the way. I think there's 3 more teams to go. This is Miami.
The Miami Hurricanes. Now let's close our eyes. Let's go back just a couple weeks. Hard Rock Stadium. The air is thick. The crowd is deafening. And Mario Cristobal is standing on the sideline of the national championship game. Miami's down 6. They have the ball. There's a minute left. Carson Beck drops back, lets it rip to the left-hand side, and it's intercepted. So the dream of a 6th national championship, it died right there in the shadow of their home venue. But here's the thing about Mario Cristobal, and this is not a moral victory, okay? This is not one of those teams that's going to look at this and say, all right, well, close but no cigar. They are looking at this and they are thinking to themselves, we're close, we can do more. And I think the rest of the ACC, they're kind of looking at where Mario Cristobal is going. And while he might have just wrapped up a game, he was not ready to just call it quits just yet. He's going and trying to hunt for that missing piece that would turn a national championship runner-up just a little bit more to get him over the hump. And what an incredible year 2025 was. But the story of 2026 is not about redemption. It's about evolution. Last year, they were a grit and grind football team. They were defensive-led. They had a veteran quarterback. They had an elite run game, elite offensive and defensive line. But this year could be a little different looking group. It could turn into a little bit more of a high-flying offensive juggernaut that might actually be forced to win some games with some real offensive firepower. So one of the biggest stories here over the last few weeks was how they went about getting their quarterback. So Carson Beck leaves. He was the bridge. He was the veteran. He was the adult in the room. And when he left, there was a real vacuum at quarterback. They had a void, and they found a way to get Darian Mensah to come and become their starting quarterback. Now, if you haven't paid really close attention to Duke or Tulane in 2024, you've missed an awful lot at the quarterback spot, because Darian Mensah threw for nearly 4,034 touchdowns last year. He led the Blue Devils to the ACC championship game. In the 11th hour, he decides to hit the portal. Miami went all in. Sounds like a very lucrative NIL deal, and he's probably worth every penny given the need that Miami had at the quarterback spot. Because if you look at what Carson Beck was last year, he was great. Darian Mensah, probably a little bit more dynamic than what you see from Carson Beck. If you have Carson Beck over here as that statuesque, capable runner, but not going to kill you with his legs, statuesque guy, wants to live in the pocket, deliver accurate throws on the underneath. You look at what they had the year before in Cam Ward, run around, create by time. Mensah's kind of a blend between the two. If I were to put those two at opposite ends of the spectrum, Mensah would probably be, 3/4 of the way towards Carson Beck. But there is some mobility there. He's got a big arm. He does have some pocket mobility stuff that's really impressive. He can make elite pass rushers kind of look a little silly in the move in the pocket. And in Shannon Dawson's air raid system, this is a really solid marriage. And he is a preseason Heisman sleeper. And he's, I think, the reason why Miami fans, they're not just hopeful, they got high expectations going into this year, and understandably so. But if you look at this offense, it's not going to deviate too far from what's gotten them to this point. You're not going to drop back and throw the ball 60 times in a game in the ACC and expect to win a ton of games. You need a hammer. And the good news for Miami is that they have a 225-pound hammer named Mark Fletcher, who is now going into his senior year, decided to put the NFL draft off for another year. And if you look at what he did in the playoffs, he goes for over 500 yards in 4 games. He is the heart and soul of this football team. Against some of the best defenses in the country, he was averaging upwards of 7 yards a carry. So in 2026, he isn't just a running back. I mean, he is the capable puncher that's going to deliver for Darian Mensah and this passing attack. So if the defense wants to drop 7 in coverage to stop the deep ball, guess what? Fletcher's going to run right down the middle. We're talking about a guy who realistically could go for 1,500 yards this year. He has the physical identity that Mario Cristobal will always lean into, even as they make a slight move towards becoming a more explosive passing attack. So you look at the running back, you look at the quarterback, but let's talk about the weapons on the outside. Mensah didn't just come to Miami alone. He brought his favorite weapon from Duke, Cooper Barcade, alongside him. Barcade went for over 1,000 last year. So him and Mensah already have that connection built in that takes time to build. Now you pair those two with now Malachi Toney, who led the entire country in catches last year with nearly 110. You got a math problem for every defensive coordinator when they tee it up against. Who do you double? You want to double Toney in the slot? Fine, Barcade's got you. You want to roll coverage to Barcade? Sounds good. Fletcher will run it right up the middle for 15 yards. So it becomes a bit of a pick your poison when it comes to defending the Miami Hurricanes. Now, I have to be the analyst and point out a bit of a red flag here. Now, Miami is losing a lot of meat on the bone along both lines of scrimmage. Reuben Bain and Akeem Mesidor, those are 2 first-round NFL draft picks that will be gone off the defensive line. You also are losing Francis Maui-Noah, another first-rounder off the offensive line. You don't just replace that kind of production with all right, next man up, boys. That's not the way it's going to go. We wish it was, just not reality. But this is where Mario Cristobal and his ability to create an identity that is built in the trenches, that's massive. I mean, he lives and breathes in the trenches. You go out and you get Damon Wilson from Missouri. You go out and get a guy from Ohio State to fill some voids. So, yes, is the floor perhaps a little lower? Maybe. But the ceiling is still really high because of the depth that Mario has recruited over the last 3 cycles. So one of the big questions is Ahmad Moten and Justin Scott, can they kind of anchor the interior well enough to kind of stop the run? If for whatever reason they're not quite as stout up the middle, it'll be hard for them to get back to where they were last year. But I still look at this team, think they're well crafted for another run. Let's look at the calendar because the ACC didn't do a ton of favors to Miami. The first 3 games, you got Stanford on a Friday, FAMU on a Thursday, and Wake Forest on a Friday. So Miami won't play a Saturday game until week 4. It's kind of crazy to think about that. But the game that everyone's going to be talking about is the game that will probably break the internet. That's November 7th when they take on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Now, we've talked about the Irish. We've talked about their revenge tour. Well, Miami beat them last year to get in the college football playoff. Now, going to South Bend in early November, there'll be lake effect wind blowing and playoff implications on the line. It's one of the games of the year. If Darian Mensah can win that game, he could very much jump into the Heisman Trophy conversation. So what are we to expect from the 26 Hurricanes? Now, they're a team that has kind of tasted the summit and is starving to get back. They have one of the most dynamic quarterback, wide receiver, running back trios in the country. They have a coach that is now proven to be able to win the big game. The national pundits have them somewhere between 6 and 13. I'm telling you right now, at plus 800, plus 900, that's a good value play because they have the talent, they have a chip on their shoulder, and the U on the helmet is back in a big way, and that certainly means something with the swagger they play with.
That was our listen-in. Greg McElroy from his Always College Football podcast. It's his title Contender Series, and last week we listened in. This week we listened in. It wraps up. There's 3 more teams. I believe there's 3 more teams in total, just sometime, whenever, next week. And I have absolutely loved these title contender listen-ins. That was Miami. I have I don't have one of those interrupter sounder things that you hear like if you're watching TV on the news, or I think Chip Howard has one. I do not have one. But Aggie softball, game 2 of the day. They're playing in the Clearwater Invitational. That is a super fancy tournament down in Florida. They're played the 9 a.m. game that they lost 9-8 to Oklahoma State. Aggie softball gave up 5 runs in the first inning, tried to rally, but could not get all the way back. Well, they're taking on number 19 in the country, Duke. And guess what? They got down 1-0, 2-0. Kennedy Powell Texas A&M hits a grand slam. Aggies up 4-2. Duke hits a 2-run shot. We're tied at 4 in the top of the third. Duke are the visitors, so they're still batting in the top of the fourth. It is not pretty out there. For a team that's supposed to be pitching first, not a lot of pitching in day one for Aggie softball, number 8 team in the country. Aggie softball, not a lot of pitching on day one of the Clearwater Invitational. Again, it's 4-4, top at 3. Highlight for A&M, Kennedy Powell, yard, grand slam. We'll take a timeout, come back. We're done on a Friday. It's the Louie Belina Show, presented by CC Electric, Residential, Commercial, Industrial Services. It's the Louie Belina Show, presented by CC Electric on the Zone.
Your home for Aggie Baseball is the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
I got to stop that because, I could let that go until like 8 o'clock tonight, and then I'd be fired, and that would be depressing. The Louie Belina Show. Time is drawing nigh. You got something to say it now or forever. Forever is a long time. Hold your peace till Monday, because I won't be back till 11 o'clock. No, that's a lie, too. I'm back 4 p.m. today. I'll be hosting Chip Howard Sports Talk 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. if you'd like to join me back then. Otherwise, 11 a.m., I'll be back here on the Louie Belina Show, presented by CC Electric. Free estimates, military, and veteran discounts. It's what they do, and they have at CC Electric. I would like to wrap things up inside the lifestyles portion of the Louie Belina Show. I heard a rumor this morning. I was at my desk that tomorrow is Valentine's Day. I haven't been able to confirm that rumor, but when you hear enough people say it, it's like the internet. It has to be true, right? If enough people type it enough times in a chat room, it has to be true. Well, enough people here at the station were like, shh, Valentine's Day, Valentine's Day. So it's got to be true that tomorrow, right, is V-Day, Valentine's Day. So I saw this. According to a study, the average American, which remember something, don't be average. Go all out or be all out, but never be average. According to a study, the average American falls passionately in love twice in their lifetime. 14% of single adults, that's 1 in 7, and I'm bad with math, so I just have to trust the study. 14% of single adults, 1 in 7, have never experienced passionate love at all. They're due. That's the way I look at it. You're due. Only 11% of people say they've experienced passionate love 4 or more times. And men are more likely to experience passionate love than women. The study included more than 10,000 people between the ages of 18 and 99. These people in the study were asked if they'd experienced the intense butterflies in the stomach love. And about 30% said it's happened with one person. Another 30% said it's happened twice. And those were the two most common answers. Yeah, man, I was so intensely in love that butterflies were in my stomach. 30% said with one person. 30% said it happened twice. Now, for the study, and I thought this was smart, they didn't define passionate love. They left it open to interpretation. So there you go. How many times have you been passionately in love? You were obsessed. You thought of them all the time, and they're the last thing you thought of when you fell asleep, and the first thing when you woke up in the morning. When you were apart, you felt the distance. There you go. One more for you. Lifestyles portion of the Louie Belina Show, Valentine's Day. According to a new report, we Americans spend $189 on an average date. People are currently saying they're budgeting $200 for a Valentine's Day gift. The old high was $196, and that was in 2020. According to data, 55% of Americans are planning to celebrate Valentine's Day this year. That strikes me as low. That's barely over half. And the most popular purchases, these are not very hard: candy, flowers, cards, an evening out, and jewelry. The National Retail Federation expects spending to reach a new record this year for Valentine's Day. Highest of all time. How much? How much? That's what I want to know. $29.1 billion. $29.1 billion is how much is expected to be spent on Valentine's Day this year. And that is a record. The previous record was 27.5, which, if you think about it, almost $2 billion increase. That's a whole lot of money where I come from. So there you go. Valentine's Day is expensive. Water is wet. Fire is hot. But passionately in love, just in love, the love of your life, aren't they worth $2 billion? I say yes. I got to go. Studio 12 live next. Chip Howard Sports Talk at 4, in which I'll be there. And then Aggie Baseball opening day at 5:45 here on The Zone. This has been the Louie Belina Show. Peace, everybody. Have an amazing weekend.